Hi there, it's Kevin with roguedeckbuilder.com. Excited to announce the Rogue Master Brewer July 2018 Core M19 competition. So for many of you that are longtime viewers of the channel, you might remember the Rogue Master Brewer competition. Unfortunately, with life getting in the way and kind of going different directions with my channel, I let this competition go. My original idea and thought for the Rogue Deck Builder channel was to get more people involved to inspire other brewers, and this is one of the ways that we are going to do so. And it used to be quite popular. Past entries for 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we used to get about 100+ entries for people that would brew decks in the Rogue Master Brewer. In the past, we've had different themes. I even did one for the tiny leaders back in the day. However, this one, these Rogue Master Brewers we're doing nowadays tend to be just around the release sets. We did one for Dominaria. Unfortunately, I didn't promote it that much. We did have a decent little turnout for it. However, this one I want to crush those numbers and actually get a massive competition going and see some really, really spicy brews with the Rogue Master Brewer Core M19. So let's just read through the little primer here. You can go check this full article out at roguedeckbuilder.com. So what I'm looking for, so basically this is going to start July 14th, and you'll have until August 4th to submit your deck list. We'll then have a week period of voting, and then the contest winner will be announced on August 13th. So, what is a Rogue Brew? A Rogue Brew is an innovative, fresh, original deck idea meant to explore the unsolved territory of any specific meta. Building a successful Rogue deck is highly coveted and is generally considered to be the highest achievement for any deck builder. The Rogue Master Brewer will be a monthly competition sponsored by roguedeckbuilder.com that will challenge your deck building skills by choosing specific cards or formats as your starting point. This one, of course, we're going to do the Core Set 2019. However, in the future, we might go back to themes or a card that I'm looking at. The grand prize of this competition is going to be co-sponsored by us as well as our friends at CardSphere. So the grand prize will be $75 USD. And the runner-up will be $25, and you'll be able to spend that money either by just messaging me a product, because we do have access to anything you can get from distributors or Magic the Gathering, or just we'll give you a coupon to spend on like popper decks or other things you want at Rogue Deck Builder. I'm pretty open to what you want. For example, the person who won the last one just emailed me, wanted a specific product, and we worked it out. So again, this is very flexible. I just want to promote it. I actually want to have something on the line. So, I mean, there is some prize on the line. It's not just going to be thrown under the rug, just, you know, give some brews and then nothing is awarded for it. So I really want to get a real competition going. How will the deck's entries be judged? At the end of the competition, prize will be awarded to the person with the most interesting decks based upon the following criteria. Number 1, the creativity and originality. This is sponsored by the Rogue Deck Builder. Although personally I have nothing against net decks and net decking, roguedeckbuilder.com was started to spark interest in innovative, exciting decks. Hey, it's even quotations here. Casey wrote this article, so he asked for some quotes and things like that. All right, so then the synergy and flow. Do the pieces work and flow well together with the challenge cards or the challenge theme? So basically what I want for this, though, is the synergy and flow. So for Core 19, what you're going to do is you're going to take a specific card from Core 19. That should be the focal point of the deck. It's not like Tasty Snackies does and throw a Benelish Marshall in a vehicles deck and call it a brew. Tasty, throwing 4 Benelish Marshalls in a Mardu vehicles is not a brew. All right, so again, that's what we're looking for. We're actually looking for like new archetypes that are created out of the Core 2019. So a lot of people will get that, hey, look at my brew, and it's like Burn throwed with like a new card that no one has played with for like Keldon Marauders and Burn. Oh, look at me, I've just innovated a new format. That's not what we're looking for here. We're actually looking for a innovative idea surrounding that card. So I try to say use 3 to 4. You could easily use 1 card if the focal point is enough around that card. Like it is just a one of you need, and you have a lot of ways to dig forward or assemble it, and that's the focal point. If you can justify that, if you can rationalize it and convince me that that's the focal point, then absolutely you can use 1 or 2. But usually it takes about 3 or 4 to do that. So competitiveness. So one of the things with me that I'm actually trying to shy away from, because I think I've had kind of a stick up my butt for a while with this particular one, is I wanted to prove that rogue decks can be competitive. I've told this story before, but what inspired the term Rogue Deck Builder, or the name Rogue Deck Builder, is I was at a Grand Prix with a brew, and one of my opponents was super salty because he lost to his words, rogue deck. And I wasted his money. I wasted his money and time and my money and time and blah, 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 how my deck was not going to win. And why'd I even show up with this crappy rogue deck? So from there, kind of sparked the channel. And, you know, this is where it was born. So I do want to try to prove that rogue decks can be competitive. In fact, that's one of my pet peeves in Magic the Gathering is we get focused on this cycle of competition, the spike mentality, and then everyone plays the same deck, and it almost creates this self-fulfilling prophecy with decks. Is, you know, if you know 50% of the meta shows up with red deck wins, of course red deck wins is going to have some top 8 finishes. Statistically, it should be, and it takes a lot of bad finishes actually to weed out decks like that rather than the opposite. So I want more people brewing, and I think that even at the more competitive level, we'll actually start to see a lot of more diverse meta based upon just people thinking outside the box and playing in a different way. So again, that's my preference. I don't have anything against spikes. I don't have anything against bringing a net deck to a tournament. However, it's what I get out of Magic is being this Johnny Spike, trying to look for new ways to actually break the meta. All right, and then the fun factor. Although competition is a major focal point of deck construction, the reason why we play this game is ultimately for fun. My favorite decks have always been decks that do not ignore this and relentlessly pursue the entertainment value of a deck. Again, and that's what I'm going to try to start to focus more on myself. I had a lot of fun with decks like Blast of Worms back in the deck or Epic Experiment. They never had a chance in hell of being, you know, super competitive, but they were really fun when they actually did work. And I think that's something that like Saffron Olive, especially Seth over MTG Goldfish, has been able to capitalize on is the fun factor of decks. So I'm going to try to get back to that. Maybe you all can inspire me to get back to that sort of creating decks. All right, so judging the winners, at the end of the allotted time for deck construction, members of the Rogue Deck Builder staff will choose either 8 or 16, depending on the number of entries, and move the Brewer tournament bracket forward, where they will be randomly pitted against another top 8 deck. The community will then vote over a period of 2 days for their favorite deck. Links, voting polls will eventually be found on Facebook, here, Twitter, maybe, I think I can actually do them on YouTube. Maybe I should get my act together and actually learn that, because I think I could put polls on the YouTube community page that I have not been using. But anyway, we'll tally all of those votes together, and then we will crown the Rogue Master Brewer as well as the runner-up, and you'll receive your plunder for this competition. This month's challenge is focused again on Core Set M19. While Standard is the most likely place to find fresh brews, you are not limited to that format. However, that does not mean that it is acceptable for you to take advantage of reprints like Scapeshift, in Valakut or Primeval Titan, or Ajani's Pridemate and Soul Sisters. The core of the deck should be a fresh take on a non-tier strategy, or even better, something completely new. Links to deck submissions are to be sent to roguemasterbrewersub@gmail.com. It is encouraged that you post your deck list on another site and tag the Rogue Master Brewer in the name and description. Not only will this make it easier to view and judge your deck list, but it will also help promote the competition. And this, please do this. We want to spread the word. I want to have Rogue Deck Builder be back to more of finding the brewers, finding the other like-minded people that want to look for different ins and outs. That's one of my favorite things with the more community aspect to this. I had a fan actually tell me that they were running, now I can't even think of the card, it's a 3/3 Armorcraft Judge, I think is what it's called. And it's a 3/3 and it enters the battlefield. You draw a card for each +1/+1 counter on creatures you control. And one of the things with my Ronus' Monument deck is I definitely was starting to burn out. Like you would draw, you'd come to these stalls where you wouldn't be able to get the lands off the top of your library, so your Vizier of the Menagerie was not working, or you just hadn't drawn your Vizier of the Menagerie yet, or your Onus' Monument, and you're stuck. And a card like that, I was using cards like Lifecrafter's Bestiary, I was using Adventurer's Impulse, and those they felt really bad. They felt really non-bow with the Vizier of Menagerie. And the Armorcraft Judge, I think, was perfect. And so this is exactly what I want to do is, collaborate with like-minded people with different brews, and maybe we can get to a more competitive deck even quicker. Speaking of the Ronus' Monument deck, we will be streaming that today. I believe I'll be finishing off a league with the Ronus' Monument, as well as playing our last Champions deck on Twitch. Now, Twitch is a little bit under construction at the moment. I'm still learning the ins and out of Twitch. The fan base is quite small. One of these days I might go back to YouTube live streams. I just don't want to get too overwhelming on the YouTube platform. I don't want to be one of those that just spams YouTube with a ton of videos every day. So I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum of 1 video per day, and live streaming, I think I'll go over to Twitch. So if you're interested in Twitch, I'll have the link in the description below. I'll be streaming later on tonight after this video uploads. So if you're watching this, you can probably head over to Twitch /Rogue Deckbuilder and see me streaming after this video concludes. So anyway, before we get to that though, this was our last Rogue Master Brewer winner. This is Striking First by, I'm not even going to try to butcher your name. So this is a Path of Metal deck, which was a top 10 card from Rivals of Ixalan of mine that I wanted to brew with and never got around to doing it. So I'm happy that someone did, that tries to utilize the new Quendel Pride of Femerif. So this is the one that gives everything, it's not pulling up here, but it gives first strikers double strike. So everything in this particular deck has the first strike, or has, yeah, first strike. So Darfleet Daredevil does, Knight of Grace does, Rigging Runner does. Fendel Firebrand does not, but it's a great way to ping off an opponent. And surprised Chain Whirler didn't get thrown in this mix. Might be a little bit too tough on the mana base here, though. Lyra and Emissary of Sunrise here as well, the Explore card. Apologize for if these aren't picking up. I think it's having a hard time loading these, wherever we're ripping this information from. All right, and then it had Ixalan's Binding as the control, Lightning Strike, and a pretty decent little sideboard for the meta with Fight with Fire, Fiery Cannonade to wipe the board of non-pirates, and some other great cards here. So this is our winner. Going to be playing that over at Twitch /Rogue Deckbuilder, twitch.tv /Rogue Deckbuilder, as well as finishing off some other leagues. So I'm super excited to see the Rogue Master Brewer competition for M19 core set. If you need some inspiration, you can always use a card from my top 10 list. Of course, that's not a requirement. In fact, if you can find a card that's not on my top 10 list, maybe you'll have a better chance of being the more unique brew. So can't wait to see your brews, and I'm happy to get this Core Set 2019 competition started. Now, again, the deadline, like, it starts the 14th. You can actually start submitting decks before then, and it just, you know, it's the big thing we're worried about is just the deadline, just so we can get this competition resolved before another set comes out after that and everything. So anyway, excited to see your brews. This is Kevin with RogueDeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.